Hello, welcome to Happy Wolf Art and episode 2 of Learning German with the California Kids. My name is Kevin Wolf, and as I mentioned in the previous video, I have my PhD in German Studies from the University of California, Davis. And let's jump right into lesson number 2. We'll do a quick little review from video 1. And here are a couple bullet points. You can pause the video if you like to consider these a little bit at a more slower rate, but we'll breeze through them briefly here. So word order and questions. So far we've seen questions beginning with what's called a question word. We've seen the question word wie. Here are the two examples from last week's video. So wie heißt du and wie ist dein Name? So the question begins with the question word. Verb is in second position, and then you have a pronoun. Same thing here. Wie is the question word, verb, and then the rest of the information. We also touched on a couple personal pronouns, ich, du, und euch. And we will do a lesson specifically on the pronouns, but we're slowly building our knowledge of the pronouns as we hear them in context and as they come up. Okay, so I, you, and you all or you guys. This is a plural informal personal pronoun. Also, we learned about a couple different verbs. The verbs heißen und sein. Heißen means to be called, and sein means is. So here's a conjugated form of sein. And we also saw these forms. These are conjugated forms where you have these endings that change depending on the pronoun that precedes or comes after the verb. Okay, and we'll talk about verb conjugation in a later video also. All nouns in German are capitalized, so we saw the noun Name in the last video. It's capitalized, so if you see that, that's what's going on. And we talked about a couple possessive pronouns. We saw examples of dein, your, informal, mein, sein, his, und ihr, hers, or her. Okay, and then word order in a statement, just like English, generally speaking, German is subject, verb, object. So here, ich is the subject, heiße is the verb, and then the rest of the sentence comes after that. All right, so here we have the California Kids. What I'm going to do is just a verbal review in German so you can listen, and I'll talk about the kids. Okay, also das hier ist Karl. Also Karl ist sein Vorname. Vorname, ja. Das hier neben Karl, next to him, neben Karl ist Wendy. Wendy ist ihr Vorname. Sie heißt Wendy. Heißt Karl. Hier haben wir Tubbs. Das ist Tubbs. Heißt Tubbs. Tubbs ist sein Vorname. Und seine Schwester, the sister, seine Schwester heißt Katrin. Ja, sie heißt Katrin. Sie heißt Wendy. Heißt Karl. Und heißt Tubbs. And if you like the story of the California Kids and you're interested in a t-shirt, this image with this message is available, and I'll mention that later in the video, on Teespring. Wir lieben Beachland. We love Beachland. Beachland ist unsere Heimat. It's our home. Okay, so let's continue to the next one. So for this new lesson, we're going to be looking at two new questions to add to our vocabulary. These are conversational questions that are good when you meet people. And these questions and answers that we've been practicing are laying the foundation for our knowledge of the language. Okay? In all of the courses I've taught since 2005 at various colleges and universities, I've begun German 1, beginning German, with these four questions. And they're nice conversational questions. So, number 1, Nummer 1. Woher kommst du? From where do you come? Yeah, woher, it can be separated. You don't have to. And so sometimes you'll hear wo kommst du her, right? Or you can just say woher kommst du? So where do you come from? Wo wohnst du? Where do you live? Yeah, wohnen is to live. Du is you, right? Kommen is to come. Where do you come from and where do you live? All right. So again, we have two question words. We have our verb in second position, which is a general rule. There are exceptions to that. And then we need a pronoun close to the conjugated verb. Okay, all this grammar terminology will start to make more sense as you progress through these videos and go from there. Okay, also hier haben wir die Kinder, die vier Freunde, und das hier ist ein Gespräch. So this is a conversation. I'm Herr Wolf, and I'm having this imaginary conversation with the four friends, die Kinder hier. Okay, so let's follow along. Herr Wolf. Hallo, Karl. Woher kommst du? Das hier ist Karl. Woher kommst du? Where do you come from? Ich komme aus Morro Bay. So this is Herr Wolf. This is me saying I come from Morro Bay. And right here, with this Ich komme aus, we're going to insert a city for the time being. Okay? So where you come from, where you were born, where you live, that type of thing. Okay? Karl, sagt, he says, ich komme aus Karlsruhe. Ich komme aus Karlsruhe. Karlsruhe ist eine Stadt in Deutschland. It's a city, yeah? Herr Wolf sagt, und Wendy, also das hier ist Wendy. Woher kommst du, Wendy? Wendy sagt, ich komme aus Karlsruhe, Deutschland. Auch, yeah? Here, auch means also. So I also come out of or from Karlsruhe, Deutschland. Herr Wolf sagt Deutschland. Ah, Germany, yeah? Deutschland heißt Germany. That's the German word for Germany, yeah? Kommt ihr, do you all, do you, right? This is a plural, Tubbs and Katrin. Kommt ihr auch aus Karlsruhe? Tubbs und Katrin. Und Tubbs und Katrin sagen, ja, wir kommen auch aus Karlsruhe und sind dort geboren. And they are born there. They became born there. This sind or ist geboren is technically wrong. People do use it. Oftentimes you'll hear war geboren or wurde geboren, became born. It's a passive construction in German. Okay, let's continue this conversation. Herr Wolf sagt, ich bin in La Habra, Kalifornien, geboren. So I was born in La Habra, California. Das ist in Südkalifornien. Ja. Und wo wohnst du, Katrin? Katrin sagt, wir alle, ja, we all, wohnen, to live in Beachland. Ja, die vier Freunde, Karl, Katrin, Wendy und Tubbs, sie alle wohnen in Beachland. Beachland ist unsere Heimat. It's our home. Okay? Wir lieben Beachland. Just like the picture we saw in the previous slide. Wendy sagt, genau, exactly. Wir sind in Karlsruhe geboren. We became born, or we are born in Karlsruhe. But, we are in Beachland groß geworden. Yeah? Also groß is big, geworden is a past tense, to become, and it means they grew up, right? They've become big in Beachland. Herr Wolf sagt, cool. Kommt aus Karlsruhe, you come from Karlsruhe, aber ihr wohnt in Beachland. Das ist Kalifornien, ja? Und die vier Freunde antworten, richtig, correct, ja? Wir kommen aus Karlsruhe, aber wohnen in Beachland. Und hier ist ein Bild, a picture, ein Bild von Beachland. Also das ist der Strand, also der Weg zum Strand. This is the path or the road to the beach. And they live very close to the beach, right? So Beachland. Es gibt nur 1, 2, 3, 4. Es gibt nur 4 Häuser, 4 houses. Es gibt auch 4 Kinder, ja, die 4 Freunde. So Karl, wohnt hier in diesem Haus mit seinen Eltern, with his parents. Das hier ist Wendy. Sie wohnt hier mit ihren Eltern. Entschuldigung. Und Tubbs und Katrin, sie sind Geschwister, aber sie wohnen getrennt. Ja? Also Tubbs wohnt hier und Katrin wohnt hier mit ihrer Mutter. Und Tubbs mit seinem Vater hier. Also 4 Häuser, 4 Kinder, also 3 Familien. Okay, das ist Beachland, wo sie wohnen. Gut. Und what did we learn? So this is a summary of what we learned, just briefly to review. And there's going to be more information on the next couple slides. I want to share some important information about reading texts and textbooks also. So make sure, if you can, to stay to the end. So the two new questions that we learned about, woher kommst du, wo wohnst du? The two answers, ich komme aus und ich wohne in. This aus und in, these are prepositions, and we're going to be using prepositions gradually. You'll learn more about those, okay, as the course progresses. Pronouns that we learned, ich, du, or we saw again, sie, he and she, wir, we, und ihr, you all or you guys. Okay? Some verbs here, kommen, wohnen, geboren, groß geworden. So we're building our knowledge. These new verbs, try and memorize these if you can, and these pronouns, so you're building your knowledge with each lesson. And then we're starting to see these conjugational endings change. Du kommst, du wohnst, this T, this EN, this E, and they change. These verb endings change. Just like English, we go, right? He goes, right? ES versus no ending, okay? So same thing in German. There's more verbal endings in German than in English. All right, so here's a text. I'll leave you to read this text on your own. Try and piece it together based on the knowledge that you've gained from these last two lessons. And we'll briefly go over this text in video number 3. So good luck with that. There's going to be a couple new words in here, but think about your subject, what's the verb, word order, some of the vocabulary from previous videos. You can review the videos and try and piece this together, okay? What I'd encourage you not to do is just plug it in and have some translation. Try and spit out a translation. It'll give you errors and stuff like that. But try and piece it together based on your knowledge and looking up, if you will, individual words, okay? All right, last couple things. If you're looking for a good German textbook to use, I've taught from Kontakte in the past. I'm no longer using the textbook. They've made multiple changes that are politically motivated, in my opinion, and I no longer use them, although it's a good textbook. So don't be too unnerved by this huge price here. Look down here at the used. So if you get Kontakte 7th or 8th edition, I would recommend the 8th edition. You can get it for about $5 plus shipping, so it comes out to about $10. And a nice textbook, it will be good to have, so you have charts, vocabulary, various things. And I'll occasionally, as I mention up here, I'll recommend some pages from Kontakte for further study if you're interested. Okay. All right, and just briefly, my Instagram here is happywolfart1. Do go have a quick look there. I post more information about the California Kids, some of the t-shirts that were just produced, so if you do end up liking the story and would like a shirt to wear, you can grab that. That's listed on my Teespring. And I also will be posting information about the German story, which is translated in present tense and reading past tense, and also even in spoken past tense. So those are all 3 tenses that you'll have to learn in German as you progress. So that information will be listed on my Instagram also. Okay? So wunderbar. Danke. Wir sehen uns nächste Woche. Ja, Video 3. Also tschüss. Viel Spaß und wir sehen uns nächste Woche. Ja?